Alright, so starting where we left off last night, there are a few problems, and we're going to fix them. Let's see, so one of the first ones here is, for some reason, this is wrong. So, and I know the reason, has to do with the, like if we go look at the item, its rotation is set to 100. What I want to go do is, I believe, just delete this rotation 0 and do this, and then let's see, was it remove that? Shell bottom, yes. Okay, so the shell bottom channel, let's go ahead and grab the controls, go over to the channels, user channels, shell bottom, and I'm going to edit this. I'm going to remove these values. I'm going to set the default value to 0. And hopefully, hold on. Why? Why is it doing this to me? And revert. Okay, so this is annoying because I had this. Yeah, there we go. Rotation. Your rotation is 0. Shell bottom. Oop, wrong one. Shell bottom. Edit user channel. Default value 0. Remove the minimum and maximum. I will add those back later. But right now, see, that's the problem. 0, thank you. B 0, and yet still. There, fixed. Just have to go in and out of setup mode. Oh, it didn't. Yeah, that's moving. Okay, so that's problem 1 fixed. And I'm going to go ahead and save this scene as something else. So Clam 8. Alright, so one of the issues last night was to do with scaling the tip of the tongue here, and basically the craziness that ensued where even if I try to come in here and do like a multiply by 1, even I don't even have to use the multiply. Well, I think, yeah. So where is the tongue scale? And I'm going to go check this user channel real quick because I don't want this one to be screwed up just like the other one was. Tongue scale default value 0. There are no minimum, no maximum. But if I go drag this into, say, here, and let's check the scale on this locator, it's 100%, right? But if I drag this, which is multiplied by 1, into here, currently there is 0 value on it, but if I go increase this even just a tad, you see that? It just like explodes out. So it's at 0.001 scale, multiplied by 1, fed into here, and it says 0.1 instead of 0.001. But you might also notice that 0.1 is much smaller than 100%, so it should be scaled inward, but it's not. So there are crazy things going on, but I have a solution. Probably a bit of a hacky solution, but it worked earlier when I tested it. So I'm going to set this to 0. Sorry, being dumb, I hooked up the wrong channel. So the tongue tip scale was at 100. And 100 times 1, though, is still, 100. So it shouldn't have caused any change. But for whatever reason, it likes to break it. So go to the user channels of this tongue tip scale. I'm going to go ahead and set the default value here to 0, remove these. I'll get back to those at some point. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is add some nodes in here. One of them is going to be a divide. So, because basically whatever I plug into it is just making it like explode and scale, so I'm going to divide it, tongue tip scale. I'm going to divide this by 100 before it gets fed in. And then I'm going to multiply it by the value. So I was going to have this at 1.2, right? And like this one will be at 1.1, that'll be 1.05. So I'm going to multiply this, and then I need an add node, because I don't want to just set this scale channel or these scale channels to this value. I'm basically wanting to add whatever this value is to whatever the scale currently is. So I'm going to bring this out, plug this in here, and plug it back in. And now, if I select this, let's see, let me do it in the viewport, select it, tongue tip scale, I'm going to set that at 100, so now it is not adding anything. And you see that when I do drag it up like that, it does make more sense than it was earlier. So now let me go ahead and sort of do the same thing for the other two. Have an add node, a multiply node, and then a divide node. And I might as well take the divide node, duplicate that, put that over there, multiply node, add node. And I'm just going to plug this, link all this stuff up. I'll start up here. Plug this in here, plug this in there, plug this in all three of these, plug that in there. So up and down, plug those in. Divide. These need to be divided by 100. This one will also be divided by 100. And then to drag this all the way over, plug that in up top, drag this all the way over, plug that in. Now if I grab the controls here and go with the tongue tip scale, you see it's sort of like bulging out the end of it like that. I actually wouldn't want to go that intense on it. Maybe something like a 5 or 10%, probably 10% at the most. But it gives it some more shape and a little bit more life to it when I get to animating. Alright, so that is done. Now one of the other things we needed to do was get the tongue following the center of the mouth. And basically what I mean by that is if I move this here and open it, see the tongue just lays here. And it should be in the center pointing, you know, in the right direction. And actually I'm going to just go ahead and, grab this. I'm going to leave this open for now. I'll need to set some limits on that, because, yeah. But let's just set this to 40. Alright. So what I need is to do some math regarding the rotations of this bone and this bone. And first I'm going to go with an add. And this is the tongue root here is what I want to rotate. So probably you want to get a little more space. Not that that's going to do much, but I can grab this down. I'm going to add this X rotation, this X rotation, and then divide them by 2 because I have 2 of them. Is that the cat? What's she doing? Growling or something?
Yeah, must be because she's on the ground earlier today.
Well, no, she kind of does that in her sleep a bit.
Yeah, she was doing it quite loud tonight.
Okay. Now I want to invert this. So I'm going to multiply this by a -1. And that's just because if you see up here, I multiply this by a -1 going in so that the rotations work out up there. So I'm just going to... It means I have to mess with the final result of this stuff here. And if I set that into the scale here, that would be bad because I don't want to do scale, I want to do rotation. So tongue root, channels, rotation, XYZ, and rotation, 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 bring this into X. And you can see now that it is at the right angle, but it's offset. So the problem there is that if I go in and do something like this, so it's rotating to the correct angle, but because the root that's attached to is this guy here and not this guy here, it isn't following along like it should be. So I can fix that by, I'll go into setup, and so I want the tongue root to match the position of the subroot. So setup, where we, setup, and item position. Now you see that pushes the tongue back. So now if I go out here, yes, actually, incorrect. I need to do this not in setup mode because I want it to pull the tongue back. There. Now, it pulls the tongue back, so it has less... It's not quite making this this full unit over here, which is really only a half unit in Unity units, because it's only 500 millimeters. So a half a meter, but by the time I get done scaling the tip of the tongue, I can easily, make up that distance or even make it go a little farther. And something else I can do is bring this tongue root here and basically set its scale, which is what this tongue scale channel is for. Let me go ahead and save this. Go into setup mode just for a second. See if that'll matter. So I'm going to scale the X, and where is it? Tongue scale, that's the second one. Come on. There we are. Okay. And you'll see it goes down to nothing. And that would be because tongue scale is at 0. And it looks like we are having probably the very same sort of issue. Let's go with tongue scale. Scale it up, scale it up, scale it up. Okay. Looks like a very similar issue to what we have down here with these scales. So basically do a divide by 100 and then try adding it in to what it already is and see if that helps. If it hasn't already corrupted my data. And after seeing all that, I'm going to go ahead and save this as a new one. So I need a divide node. I'll try dividing this by 100 as before. And we'll go with go with the add node, bring scale into this, bring that into there, link this up to all these, and I might have to bring a multiply node. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me why this works the way it does. Well, I guess it makes enough sense that I thought to do this. Um, but it still just seems a little odd in some way. Alright, so that looks fine. Now let's see how it happens if we scale it. Okay, and so there's where we can kind of run into a problem with the mesh peeking out there at the back, which shouldn't be an issue because I'm mostly going to be using this tongue scale to scale it down, but let's see what we can get away with before we start. Right there. So really about 25%. Let's see. So we can add about 25% before it starts poking through. But an easy fix that would allow me to let it get larger would just be to go in here and scale some of these edges real quick. Like, there's really no reason. I could even just delete the polygons for all intents and purposes. But I'm going to, for now, I'm just going to scale these in. I like to know what I'm scaling to. Give that like a 75%. And we'll unhide the rest and give this another go and see how much leeway that got us. Tongue scale. And right around in there. So we can now go up, about 100%, which is way farther than I think I'll ever need to use it. And if not, just to make this future-proof, just go in here and move these forward a little bit. Like, say, give it 25 millimeters, just to get those hard edges off the back there. And I could probably even just delete these edge loops, to be honest. I could probably delete all of these. But for now, we will keep them. Alright. Now let's show the, let's have a look at this tongue now when I move this. Nice. Until I go too far. So now would be a good time to probably look at setting limits on this. So that's 100 degrees on that. And let's go here. And so let's try something like 75 and something like 75 and 75 is probably a good, although I might want to just open this one. I'm not going to set the limits. I'm just going to, because when I go in and animate it, I'll just, animate it to where it looks good. I'm not handing it off to anyone else, so I don't really need to to bother with that. Alright. What? I haven't been reading chat. That looks a bit naughty. Yeah. Well, if you look into the name of the game and where it comes from and everything, yeah, whatever. So let's see here. Tongue scale, tongue tip scale, the soft section, all that sort of stuff should be working fine. Let me grab this and open the top here. So So yeah, the shell actually got merged back there, which isn't specifically what I would want to happen. Alright, before I do this, save it, model, should be able to go in here and do an edge split, 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 split. Now this should be one piece. Let's hide that. One piece. This is not part of it. So if I move that away, what is going on here? Okay, yeah, so I got all of my polygons kind of, everything got merged. I'm not really going to worry about that right now. I can show how to fix that, but it's just tedious and just really involves going through and like selecting this and hiding it so that I can select these and then cut them and stuff. Just I don't think that's very interesting for people to see, so I'm not going to do it. But it does appear that the rig is done. So I guess I should move on to something like UV mapping. Yep, we're about halfway through, so should definitely do something else. UV maps, go over here and say UV map texture. No, this one's probably all kinds of screwed up. Yep, that's pretty messed up. Might as well just delete that and call this one giant clam. So the big thing with UV mapping to me is really deciding how you want to texture something. Before you can UV map it, you need to know what you're going to do as far as the texturing. And my game is mostly gradient based. It's pretty heavily just gradients on stuff. So like this tongue, like I probably wouldn't even put any kind of texturing detail on it, like taste buds or anything like that. I would just use a gradient. But instead of just using a gradient on the side, I could do a gradient from the top, and that would possibly give me more detail, because I could have like it fade or something. But I'll do a project from view and just toss that in and move that over. I'm not worried about it overlapping. I keep trying to change the perspective view and the 2D view. I'm not worried about it overlapping because it's just going to transfer this same color to everything else, and I actually am counting on it overlapping and stacking like that. That's what I want to happen. Alright, so the shell here. The shell could be a little more difficult. And the reason it could be more difficult is because it's going to make me do what I said that I didn't want to do, because in order to UV map it, the polygons have to be fixed. Actually, let's see if I can... I'm curious if this broke my selection set, or if I can just go in here and use my selection set here. Excellent. I can. Okay. And it should still work with this if deformers were enabled in the viewport, of course. So yep, all that's working. What is going on? Okay. It's getting a bit I'm gonna hide that so that's not in my way. Hide that. Okay, so yeah, that's what's going on. All of this is just all joined up stupid is what's going on. It's just all joined up stupid. Let's try an edge split here. Okay. And I don't know why that counted as soft, because it shouldn't. Let's see. These should be soft. I'm going to go and make a new selection set here. Assign selection set soft for real. For real this time. Okay. So I want to take that and this, and I want to do a merge. And let's see if that completely... Okay. It looks like that actually worked. Good. And so I'm going to want to do the same thing for the other side. So select, use selection set soft for real, hide those, join these. Really? Well, I guess it had a lot less vertices merged, but I guess there are less polygons down there. I just kind of threw up a red flag for me. Now what I'm hoping is that I can just merge these. And that will work. That mostly works. Let's go with a mesh cleanup, see if that fixed a few face normals. So there are definitely, like, say, right in there maybe? No? Not there. Somewhere in here, there appear to be some polygons. Because when I hit tab, you see that pinching. It means they're going to be right. They'll be right here. Two verts there. Just join averaged. Really? I'm pretty sure there should be... I know there is. I know it's here. Yep. Just wasn't selecting it. And I'm assuming that holds true for all the way down here. Yes, it does. So since, yeah, and then hide the message. Since this kind of just broke the other night, I'm just gonna go continue doing it manually. No vertices merged. That's because I'm being dumb. I want to join average. Join average. And actually, I need to go have a look and see where these, what the position of these is. So that position, I'll find out shortly if that position's okay. There's two vertices. I'm going to join averaged on those. Two vertices, joined average. Uh-oh. Three vertices. Where was it getting the third one? Ah, well, maybe, now I'm just curious. One, and there's two there. Okay. Doesn't matter to me. Well, I should probably actually join those and then join these so that the average doesn't get thrown off. Because it's the only one I recall seeing. There's 4 verts here. That's fine. Sure, join averaged. Join averaged. Okay. Now that's a good looking piece. And go over to the setup. That looks correct. Unhide there. That looks correct. These, that's, yes. Okay. So whether the shells were merged or not, the weighting, don't want to do all of that. The weighting of them also got kind of messed up on the edge. So really what I want to do is take everything with this, grab that bone, just select this whole thing, quick fix here, adjust the weights full, unhide, go to this bone, same thing, adjust weights, and now I should have everything working just fine. Maybe not everything. I think something, maybe maybe these are crossed here. Let me hide this as well. Alright, grab that. I'm just going to check and see sort of what these values are here. I should be able to convert that. Go over here and do show weight values, and that's not showing me the weight values. Let's see. Now it is. Okay, so it's at 50%. That one's at 75%. And that's kind of what I thought I was seeing that looked wrong. Okay. Easy enough to fix. Adjust weights. Set that to 50. 50% to the top bone and 50% to the bottom bone. Unhide. Go grab this. There we are. And you see if I do make it go too large, like so, the soft bit does start to stick out the back. Probably not an issue. Easy ways of handling it. I can move in the tissue a little bit, or I can you know, not open it that wide. Okay, back to UV mapping now that we've had that little detour. Get some tea. Okay. I'm gonna pull down my UV map here, UVs. Now I have to figure out how do I want to map this shell. So it kind of comes down to how do I want to texture this shell. And I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I want to texture this shell. Like a simple gradient across it might be enough. It might not be enough. I might want to emphasize these ridges through the texture, which would mean that I would need to have them available. But then also trying to do a gradient across all the ridges, I'd have to bake it, actually. I'd have to use the baking features, which I have not yet done with a character, and I'm not sure if that would look okay or not. But I know it can't be a solid color. Going to jump over and look at a seashell. Just type in seashells into Google, look at images, and alright, I see, sorry about hitting the mic there, my nose is itching. I live with a cat that I'm allergic to. Let's see, definitely ridges, so like I'll have lines going across it like this, basically. So let's see. The center then, or the interior here, I'm not really worried about. This can, let me go to the bottom. This will probably just be all one color. You know how a lot of times the interior of a shell is just like pearlescent or something. Easy enough for me to do that. I'm going to unwrap that. And that doesn't look bad. I might as well go ahead and do the other piece. Okay. Kind of invert opposites of each other, but doesn't really matter. Select everything that's already UV mapped and hide it. And actually select all this, invert that, and hide it. So, this one. Let's go ahead and see, the problem is that if I want these loop ridges going around, I'd have to like split it over here somehow. And we'll just have to see. I'm going to go ahead and unwrap it like normal. And that's getting closer. You know, it's doing a really beautiful job of unwrapping it. It's just that I probably want to split, pretty much split away everything here, like all of that. So for now, I'm just going to tear this piece off and see if that'll get me anywhere with a UV relax. Not as far as I was hoping. Conformal adaptive. I guess I'll let it finish. Don't want to abort it and have it be a problem. Yeah, and that's actually going the wrong direction. Try angle based. Still the wrong sort of direction. So let me see about doing some snapping with grid vertex. All that should be fine. I'm going to use try to use the bend tool. it's getting part of it. But I think I would feel more comfortable with using a regular old fall off and snapping it to there, and then rotating You're really gonna get in my way, huh? Go ahead and drag this down. Okay, come on. I've got it set to snap. I'm going to turn off the grid because I think that's what's causing the problem. Action center element. And it's getting in my way, it's eating my click. Oh, so now you're not going to snap. There we go. It's like, come on. Alright, this should be snapping to straight and right angle. So, there we are. At least I thought that was. I guess it's not. You know, let's just drag it here. Alright, I'm just going to drag it about to that line, and I'm being too precious with it. It's really just not going to matter if this can work how I need it to work. And it looks like it can't. Not so easily. So what would be the easiest way? How about if I remove this ring up here? No, actually I completely switched. Hey, Brook Killer. Sorry, wasn't viewing the chat at the moment. I switched over to go find some pictures of seashells to decide how I wanted to handle UV mapping this. And it's really not wanting to UV map how I want it to UV map. There's probably just not a quick solution to make this happen, but I'm going to try. Let's see, so I'd want to take this, that section was down, I'll try to drag this section up, and now hopefully drag this one over. Yeah, I should be able to get that whole line, drag that over. Drag that over, which seems like, did I go one too far? Yeah, I went one too far. Drag that. Sounds fun. I'm not sure which part sounded fun. So let me drag this up. I'm trying to get this to be laid out like a grid, to make it easy to put, so that I can basically have like a color along this one horizontal line, and then it will get mapped to this, wrapping around it, like you would see an actual seashell. Would have those nice color ridges on it. Even if I'm just using blending gradients or whatever, I don't know how harsh they're going to be or anything yet, but this will allow me to at least um, do what I want to, and let's see if that. Okay, cool. That's why. Uh-oh, this one though. Yeah, figured that was gonna happen. So, what I might do, what I will do, for now, I'm just going to tear that off so I can get that up there. And now I just get to go through and do this. And hopefully I'm not, I know I'm distorting the UVs, but I'm hoping they're not going to be too horribly distorted once this is done. I saw you streaming stuff at like, well, I saw the email that you were streaming stuff at like 8:30 or something this morning. I tried to, well, by the time I tried to jump on though, you're already gone. We've got about 10 minutes left. I'm hoping to be able to finish this shell UV in the next 10 minutes. I guess it might take, if it goes over a little bit, that's fine. I'd rather just get this done. Okay, let's grab that. So I guess here's the problem. If I was, yeah, I really did screw that up. I should have done this while it was connected before disconnecting it, and then I wouldn't have to do the same thing twice. Stream before class, just playing League. Trying to climb out of the depths of bronze. That wasn't happening. I do normally stream before class. I think that's the first time I've seen it. Let's see. Now that goes there, that'll go there. So I'll grab these and I'll merge to the unselected. Okay, what is happening? What happened there? That. Where is this one? Where are you connected? Are you not connected? One vertex, one vertex. Two vertices. Polygon. Ooh. So I messed that up. Awesome. Go here, and I should be able to just relax that out. I guess I accidentally selected two edges. Easy enough to fix. And merge this with unselected. Streamline class for Wednesdays, since it's half day. And this is still not making me happy. I shouldn't have to sit here and do this over and over and over. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and bring up my history, my commands. I'm going to map that to the one key, and now click. Makes that a lot easier. I'm going to map that one to the one key. Yes. Select one key. Okay. Make Wednesday's my day. Yeah, Wednesday, if it was a half day, that's definitely a good day. But Friday brings on two uh, fully empty days, so, you know. Alright, and for the bottom of this here, it's going to get a bit ugly. Because I basically want to split. I want to split off all of these. Every single one of these from each other. Grab these. Just that one. Broke Killer, do you have any interest in Unreal Tournament? I've started playing around with Unreal Tournament 4 because it's in pre-alpha at the moment. I'm just looking for to get some people on to play. And I need to take into account the time lag before I look to see if people have answered things. Nose is still itching. Alright, now hopefully I can just grab this line of edges and do a select merge to selected, and naturally that's going to happen. Let's see. Okay. So if I do this to unselected, yeah. So why then if I do selected? Wow. Alright. Yeah, that's not quite what I had in mind. I guess I know why it's having trouble. It gets torn between all of these different pieces trying to tell it what to do. So selected, and I'm going to map that to a key, so I can just go through here and say, click each of these and just do selected. Actually enjoy class. So it's like Wednesday through Friday, and you were talking to me, I was AFK, had to go let the dogs out. I did ask if you had an interest in Unreal Tournament, because Unreal Tournament 4 is in pre-alpha. I've started playing it. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and save it. See if we can do a relax here on these. And of course they are going to behave this way. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they? And what? Why did this? Okay, you gotta be kidding me. It only halfway attached them. It didn't actually attach them. What in the heck? You selected. No, not your friend. That would be why. Because it brought along a friend. So not all of them were halfway. Only some of them. At this point, it doesn't matter whether it's the selected or unselected. not too... I wish there was a magical way to make the UV unwrapping happen, but this is about as magical as it's going to get. I just hope it's not completely all... I don't want to deal with having to go through and set things again, but I expect I'm going to. Ah, cool. I played it when... Go to the Land Center. I used to be really good at... I played 2003 and 2004. I skipped Unreal Tournament 3 because it felt like Quake, and I was playing Unreal Tournament for Unreal Tournament, not Quake. I'd have played Quake if I wanted to play Quake. So, yeah. But they are doing some stuff that looks interesting with Unreal Tournament 4. And to be honest, I probably, it's probably not fair to say, although I guess a lot of other people share the sentiment of saying that Unreal Tournament 3 felt like Quake. But Unreal Tournament 4, even in the pre-alpha and everything, I'm still liking it. I'm still having fun. That's what matters, I guess. Yay for auto orient. Now then, let's go with relax. And that doesn't do anything on conformal. Adaptive. Ooh, let's go ahead and abort that. I don't want to mess with that. Angle based. Abort. Okay, so none of that's going to work for me. It's all going to be a pain. So I'm going to try taking this and scale it all down to 0. And that's probably going to have to be the magic. That's just going to have to be... That'll have to be the magic. And generally I don't like having all these thin polygons in there, but this is probably just going to be a solid color anyway, and it's not really going to matter. How can I get UT4? I saw a thing that I can get it. No, you don't have to have an Unreal 4 sub or an Unreal Engine sub anymore. I just Googled it and found the links. But you should be able to go to the Unreal Tournament forums and register, and then you'll get access to a hidden forum, like the members only forum or whatever, and you can find the information for the alpha build in there. They also have like a launcher thing. There's two different programs. There's the game itself, the Epic Game Launcher, and then there's some like server thing that you'll find that you don't need anymore. The server thing, alright, the server thing is deprecated basically. And I think I'm gonna be... Is it all gonna loop now? I'm gonna end up doing this again, aren't I? What in the heck? That way. I didn't merge. Ah, they are merged though. Are they? That shouldn't have merged them. Why would they do that to me? When I scaled them all together, Come on, come back out. So the reason I'm going to do this again is if you look in here, you see like these aren't necessarily even. And actually, those are on the horizontal. Yeah, I still want them to be even. Why? Why? There. That's probably because my key is mapped to the wrong spot. Not that one, just this. Okay. That's interesting. Alright, so what I want to do is grab that and grab this and do that. So I'm going to have to actually go in here and grab these edges now. Which will be fine. It's going to make everything look better in the end. I'm probably being too picky with it. That's fine. And I was hoping to have all of this done, but I ran into some problems. So I'll probably, once I'm finished with this half, and that really looks like I probably don't want to go that direction with that one. Yeah, I don't want to go that direction. Go that direction. I don't know, I'll have to see how quickly this goes, and then I'll decide if I want to mess around with the other half and just finish it or not. Found it, got it, cool. Be good to get some people, because I checked out the servers and there aren't a whole lot of people playing at the moment because it's so early on in development. Why? Hold on. Busy thinking. Alright, I need to go start on this side. Not what I wanted. Well, and that would be why. Grab those. There we are. I guess I need to grab this. Go that way. Alright. Grab that again. Anyway, looking at the servers. Also, it seems to be reporting my ping is wrong. I'll go into a server that's like 68 ping or something, and then I get in there and it's like, oh, your ping is 300 and you're lagging everywhere. Awesome, have fun. And that's like 8 people and like a map for that's meant for like a maximum of half that, just because that's the only server anyone's in. So I'm hoping I can get some more people on the servers. Okay. Bring that down. Now I'm going to grab all of these, I guess, vertices. Grab these verts. And bring that down. And I'll just bring these in. I'm going to save this, and now I get to see just how terrible the UV distortion is. Fit UVs, keep the proportion, UV, show distortion. Yeah, and that's not so great. I knew it was going to be off, but definitely not so great. I want it for LAN play. Well, online play is also really good if you have a decent ping. If you're, if you're like under 100 ping or something, and even really then, like I guess it's still better, but yeah. I had a whole lot of fun playing 2004 and 2003 online all the time with a low ping. It doesn't just have to be LAN. Even with the high ping and lagging around and stuff, I was still in the like at the top middle. A1 connection. Alright, servers, so let me see if I can lock the boundary on this. I'm going to go ahead and save it, try UV relax, lock the boundary, click that with adaptive, and it might have just locked up. So it's either locked up or it's thinking. Either way, we are now about 10 minutes over an hour. So I should probably go ahead and end this here and pick up tomorrow. Uh-oh. Just gotta wait for this to finish. Installing it now. No, we're playing on lunch tomorrow. Really the biggest problem I had with Unreal Tournament 3 was the lack of the double jump. The double jump ruined me for other first-person shooters. It added so much freedom, like being able to lunge jump and everything like that. It was great. And no other first-person shooter game I've played since has that. And I always feel like, if I play Halo or something, I feel like I'm just like driving a tank, and that's not really a good experience to me. Anyway, it's stopping time. Broke Killer can talk to you on Skype. I might play some Unreal Tournament tonight. Maybe we can play. Have a good night, everyone.